Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs Podcast, J-Ro back from Disney. Could a big trade on Monday ultimately impact the Cubs roster even before spring training starts? Plus, what is the ceiling for Edward Cabrera? It's Cubs over everything. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast. It is already February 3rd. That means spring training's creeping up on us.
Out of here, February.
It is a Tuesday with Roman. Justin Roman is back from a very chilly state of Florida.
Yeah,
apparently.
man.
Huh?
I
a little
mean,
cold?
It was, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but Saturday I was at Epic Universe, and it was colder there than it is here today. And for Florida, like, pipes were bursting.
Yes.
And, I mean, rides were breaking down. Like, they are not used to the cold. And, yeah, that was crazy.
We love you, but I like to hear that. Anytime anybody else goes on vacation that didn't take me with, I like to hear that they froze.
Well, the first 3 days were awesome.
Oh, okay.
But Saturday was not.
Well,
it was
that
the
too.
opposite of awesome.
Imagining Mickey with hypothermia in the hospital.
Dude.
Like Jasmine just wearing like a full coat. You know what I mean?
Man. I mean, honestly, like the real feel on Sunday morning waking up was like 10 in Orlando, Florida. They were closing down like schools that week because pipes were bursting, and they are not ready for it, man. And I'm glad to be home though. I was one more thing I'll say. I was in line on one of the great rides and everything, and I'm looking out like my family and on a warm day, and I'm like, the Cubs signed Alex Bregman. Like, this is real. Like, this is real. Like, this is really happening this year. Like, that's where my mind was at. So I'm glad to be back talking Cubs with you guys.
I thought you were going to say, I was on a ride and I thought to myself, wonder what Joey and Luke are doing right now.
I know what you're doing at 2 o'clock every day. I know that, but I'm more excited about the big picture, which is this Cubs team is going to be really, really good.
Shout out to everybody in the live YouTube chat. I see our guy Ron is here. Barb, Becky, all the regulars are here. Barb's doing well.
Yeah, Joey's back.
Yeah, Barb says
Larry's
Stucky,
here.
Larry, and Joey are all here. If you haven't heard, first of all, Sarah, did you get a chance to see some of the pictures that I put in Slack, by the way?
No.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Let me grab it right now,
HR
though.
violation? Are we okay here?
No.
Okay.
I'm starting to see a lot of photographs coming in from spring training, and they
yeah.
always get me excited. Our guy, Rich Biesterfeld, we can show some of those maybe later in the show. He had some Nico Hoerner pics, and then John Antonoff, who's at Baseball in Focus, had PCA catching a ball behind his back, and I thought, oh man, this is great. And it got me to thinking, listen, not only is this awesome that these guys are already there working hard when they don't have to be there yet, what got me excited is that we've got our big spring training trip locked in and loaded.
Yes.
It's happening. So if you guys don't know, the road trip to spring training is March 5th through March 8th, and it's presented by our friends at Shady Rays. Here's the deal. You go with us to spring training, and we hang out, we go to Cubs games. You hang out, we go to maybe even a Sox game if you want to.
A Bulls game.
A Bulls game. Bulls and Suns are there, and we've got a golf outing lined up. You don't have to do everything if you don't want to. If you're sick of us, just go to the Cubs games, whatever. We're going to hang out in the sun, and I've told Joey, I've already ordered the vat of sunscreen that I will need.
Yeah, you will, right?
You know, so I know that already, and I have now confirmed with the Cactus League that I am allowed to go in the outfield despite the reflective characters that I will have out there.
Oh, thank
So the players have said it's okay. We'll know what it is. It's just me sitting in the outfield. I want to know, is Craig Brindle going to be there? She says 76 and sunny. It's going to be beautiful.
I mean, I'll tell you
It's
what.
going to be beautiful. You going to be there, Craig? You going to be there, Ron?
I had a bit of cold weather this past weekend in Florida. Arizona does not get cold. Arizona is a desert for a reason. And spring training is a staple. I grew up going to spring training with my parents every single year for a long time. And I cannot wait to go back with you guys. Like, it's going to be so much fun. Like, my first time with you two, My first time with CHGO. I love Mesa, Arizona. I actually have never been to the new Sloan Park.
Oh.
So I'm very excited. I'm old school. I went to Hohokam Park
me too.
for years. I mean, for years. I heard Sloan Park is just the jewel of the spring. I'm very, very excited. And yeah, like Luke said, we have 3 games recovering. There's a Bulls game. There's a golf trip. There's a bunch of meet and greets and stuff. And basically, I don't know about you guys. I am going just to hang out with whoever's there, whoever wants to hang out, and just talk Cubs 24/7.
Yeah, that's the idea. We isn't just going to games. We're going to do happy hours.
Yeah.
We're going to do some live appearance stuff. We're going to hang out. And
maybe Barb will bring some turkey meatballs if she comes and make them, right?
Okay.
This is something, I know you guys are into the destiny stuff. You're into, reading the stones and the stars and all those things.
Sure.
Let me tell you something that Ron says sounds like a blast. Well, you got to go, Ron.
Let's go, Ron.
Here it is. The last time I was at Sloan Park was...
Don't say it. 2016.
2016.
No way. See? Done deal. Done deal. We're winning the World Series 10-year anniversary.
It's been 10 years since I went to Sloan Park. And I've never been as just pretty much a fan.
Yeah, right. You're a media guy for a long time.
But the last time I went was 2016. And then after that, I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to go to spring training. And now I'm like, wait a minute. Is this destiny?
It sounds like it.
I'm just saying, if they win it, I get all the credit. So we're talking about a lot of stuff today. We're talking about pitcher zips. And speaking of pitcher zips and possible trades and stuff like that, Edward Cabrera. I feel like he's the acquisition we completely forget about. Right?
That shows you how good the winter has been, though. If you're forgetting about Edward Cabrera.
Right? He's just kind of like the other move they made.
Yeah, well, it's one of those fun things, too, where it's like, if the Cubs offseason was like The Price is Right, and you win the showcase, Edward Cabrera is winning the showcase, but that's not it. It's a new car named Alex Bregman. The Alex Bregman news came down so fast.
Yeah.
We were in the thick also of a Bears season. The city was really electric and on fire. And I think Bregman is the headliner, right? The true headliner of the offseason. But yeah, we've kind of forgotten a little bit about Edward Cabrera. Maybe because, one, we don't know a ton about him, maybe as a pitcher, and B, we don't know what his ceiling can be. Yeah. And I think that's what we're going to talk about here, because I think expectations are going to be pretty high for this pitcher, Justin.
I am. Listen, you guys know I'm an optimist. I'm putting all my chips in on a 2-headed monster of Cade Horton and Edward Cabrera. I just think the 2 young guns, because the best part about this trade is we don't have them for a year, not a year and a half. We have this dude for 3 more years, and Cade Horton for I don't know how many years, a million. So this 2-headed monster of Cade Horton and Edward Cabrera potentially could be 3 years minimum. And if they both live up to the hype, it's a pretty good 2-headed monster.
So that's your 2-headed monster. It's funny because yesterday, Joey and I were talking about pairing. We were looking at the zips a little bit, which we continue again today. And we were saying, would you take this 2 or would you take this 2? And I was saying Boyd and Horton.
Okay.
Now you're saying Cabrera and Horton.
I'm saying Cabrera and Horton, yes.
Would anybody say Shota and Horton? Or Shota or would somebody throw Justin Steele?
Justin Steele is
he's a wild card
X
for me.
factor.
But you understand what I'm saying? At the end of the season, who will be the 2 that you clearly say, that's my 1-2 punch? And it's not for sure.
The question here would be, and again, because I'm the optimist, if I ask you guys the question of who are the 2 pitchers that have the highest potential, would you agree it's Horton and Cabrera?
Right. So in terms of potential moving forward, I think
highest ceiling.
Yes. I think it's definitely Horton by far. We've got the age, we've got the control. Just burst onto the scene. And frankly, his medical history, which he's had a couple of injuries here, he needs to finish this season healthy, is in a better shape than Edward Cabrera is right now. Yeah. What I love about Edward Cabrera, though, when you talk about that potential is, because it is February a little bit, let's just try and flip it into what the opposition thinks when they face the Cubs. And if Edward Cabrera is healthy, and if they can figure out a way to kind of get that fastball sorted out a little bit to pair with that still dynamite changeup, that really nasty sinker, if they can get that figured out and he becomes a 30-start pitcher and a guy that, let's just pretend for a second, we're talking ceiling here, a guy that averages somewhere between 5.8 to 6.1, 6.2 innings per start. As an opposing team, I think facing Edward Cabrera could be an absolute nightmare, right?
Yes.
And when you talk about that 1-2 punch, right? And I think when we were talking about the playoffs, we were like, Cade Horton is kind of the ace up the sleeve when you walk into a playoff series. If you could have Horton and Cabrera both firing on all cylinders, Luke, all of a sudden, you know, that's Sloan Park. You going to Sloan Park might be a pretty good idea. Might be a pretty good idea to go to Sloan Park this year.
I see Corey Seacrest saying what I think we're all in agreement on. Whatever Steele can bring after his rehab will be gravy.
Agree.
But isn't it funny that we're sitting here, and I don't know if we're right or not, because you could be underestimating Justin Steele greatly. Like, I know we're not, but we are, in that we're not putting him in this top 2. Steele is a 1-2 type guy.
Yeah.
Shota has been one of the better pitchers in baseball for 1.5 years.
Yep, true.
Boyd was just an all-star. Like,
oh, and by the way, Jameson Taillon, 2 of the biggest postseason games in Cubs history. He was great.
We could be underestimating all 4 of them.
So that's what makes the conversation intriguing, right? Is it isn't so much like we did the potential thing. Now let's do, who do you today, February 3rd, have the most trust in? I don't think Edward.
That's why I say it's Horton and it's Boyd. I trust
today.
If I had to put my money on it, these will be the 2. I have to take someone like Boyd over Cabrera, at least for now.
Right, and that's a bit of the gamble or the conceit with Edward Cabrera, right? Is that, like, I don't know if I can sit here and say that I trust him the most out of our 5 in the rotation, but if he proves it, the proof of that concept, the rewards are innumerable. Well, it's endless. That's where we're sitting at.
You gave up Owen Casey. It's a high risk, high reward situation, right? Casey's a good player. He could be a star in Florida. Go ahead. But Edward Cabrera, the high reward is very, very high with him.
Tantalizing.
I mean, his changeup in the 90s, and he said, so I saw a quote that said he could throw it 98. And I'm like, why would you want to throw a changeup 98? But, like, awesome. I'm glad that you wanted to. Like this dude has tools on tools on tools. But that's a very good question about who I trust as of today the most. Cade Horton is number 1 for me, because I think we're not talking about a small sample size. Cade Horton for a long time was one of the, if not the best pitcher in baseball last year, right? So for me, he's one of them. Now, you said Matthew Boyd, all-star first half. He kind of faded a bit. Who was your answer for the trust, the second trust?
Well, so Horton Boyd I trust the most.
Horton Boyd.
And I think maybe Jameson Taillon in the trust tree now. Yes. And maybe he's number 3 for me right now.
So my answer was Horton and then Jameson Taillon. Because Taillon's like this sleeping giant. Like we call him Mr. Quality Start, right? He's gonna give you 6 innings, probably 2 runs, 3 runs, whatever, and keep your team in a ball game every single time he pitches. And again, I'll go back to postseason where he pitched 2 elimination games for us and was nails on both of them. So if we're doing trust as of today, I would do Horton and JMO.
I have great excitement level for watching Cabrera in the spring and in the season. Yeah. Chef Kevin says if Cabrera stays healthy, he's only, and that's a big one.
True.
And I don't trust. The longer we sit here and talk about this, I wonder if I should be pushing Steele ahead of Cabrera. Listen, they both have injuries. One has already come back from Tommy John, and I know is an absolute bulldog. I don't know enough about Cabrera other than his stuff, and that his changeup can be 98 and his fastball can do this. But can he stay healthy? Can we figure out the fastball? Those are bigger questions. Justin Steele, if he's healthy. Yeah. Now, big question, but still, it's like we know what Steele can do. Yeah. And I'm not worried about his stuff. So maybe I'm underestimating. I do have this slight fear that the Cabrera thing might not work out. Now, I don't want that to be true. Right, I think this high ceiling is really great. Who was the guy that they got from the Rockies and they forced down?
Tyler Chatwood.
I don't think we're going that far, that direction, right? But keep in mind that when we just talked about the prospects and the prospect list came out, Owen Casey wasn't. There were a lot of prospects just in the division way higher than Owen Casey. So while he might be a good player, let's not go crazy and overvalue what we gave up.
I'm cool with it.
There's some flaws coming to us with Cabrera, too.
I love Pat Jumer's comment right there. Tommy Hotovy is going to make Cabrera an ace. That's another thing. The Cubs' pitching infrastructure is actually really, really good. So you have a guy with high upside and tons of talent, and now you get Tommy Hotovy's hands all over him. I love that comment. I could see it. Now, Luke, you're not wrong. Could he be a bust or what? Injuries? Sure.
Oh, I hope not.
I'm choosing to believe that Horton and Cabrera for years and years to come are going to be our Cubs two-headed monster.
And I know we're butting up on a break here, but just really quick, like maybe something to go into the break, like ask yourself the question, if you got 25 really high-quality starts from Edward Cabrera, would you be happy with it? It would be close to his career high, if not his career high. But that also means that there'd be 7 starts that someone else would have to cover, which is why we always talk about the importance of depth on this rotation. Would you take 25 from Cabrera, or would that disappoint and frustrate you? And then the only one before we go to the break is Mohawk the Kid. You already flashed it, Sarah, but it was awesome. He just asked, do we have a CHGO Bears, CHGO Bulls, and CHGO Cubs all going on at the same time? Wow. I agree, my friend. Wow, because that's what we do. Emergency pods, all the content for Chicago sports all day long. That's what we're all about, Luke.
And finally, one more comment here on the board. I see that Corey Seacrest has called me De Niro. And that's not the first time I've heard that. That's all I'll say.
I see that.
Okay. Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, will the Red Sox be forced to overpay for a Cubs player? It's coming up next on CHGO. Hey, what if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 years? That is the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. We call it synergy. It finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And it lets you stream the game even when the family is online at the same time doing something else. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. Here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years, but your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. So lock in your price, unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, and of course, restrictions apply. But again, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 years.
Luke, you know it's February, and look, we might not have the budget to go to some tropical island right now, but you can at least think about and plan your next weekend escape or maybe the next big night out, and it should be Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. They've got everything that you need in one spot. We're talking thousands of the latest slots and table games, and if you are ready to refuel like I am, they've got a ton of amazing restaurants and bars to choose from, and whether you're feeling fancy or just want a quick bite, they've got you covered because you don't even have to leave the property. You stay right there, and you stay in style at their luxury hotel, and it's steps away from what many call the Midwest's best sports book. If you're thinking about maybe going to a Brewers game this year against our Cubbies, that's right, you can plan your trip ahead and stay at Potawatomi to hit the sports book and then head out to the game. It's all right there. It's super convenient. It's Milwaukee, and they got a full lineup of concerts, festivals, sports, you name it. It's the perfect home base for all of it. So go to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. Check it out today.
Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast, we're talking more about the Zips. We're talking about pitching. We were talking about Cabrera's ceiling. I guess my final thought on that is if there is a ceiling, well, ceiling would be he's in the Cy Young conversation. Right. That's the ceiling. What's the reality or more likely to happen? I'd like him to be at least a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that for me, like Cade Horton is still like the guy that is going to lead this franchise, I hope, to his next World Series. But I think Cabrera, in my perfect world, is going to be a great number 2 for at least 3 years for us.
So let me ask you guys this. Let's get into the Zips projections on Edward Cabrera.
Yeah, okay.
Let's just leave it like this. Would you take the following numbers? Record of 8-6, a 3.88 ERA, 130 innings pitched, 9.6 K per 9, and 3.5 walks per 9 innings. Obviously, with a FIP only that's at 3.99, so really not that far off from what his projected ERA would be. Which part of those numbers would you push back against that you think would maybe you'd like to see a little bit more from, or would you take those numbers from Edward Cabrera?
I'm going to go old school, and the overall record, I would need it to be higher because of the fact of I think this is a really good team. Mm-hmm. And I think that offensively, we're also very good. Defensively, we're phenomenal, which I think is going to help Cabrera in the long run. Our Gold Glove defense around the diamond. So, I know you don't judge a pitcher by his record, but that being said, if he went 8-8 this year, I would not feel great about it. I need him to go 8-8 was 16. I need him to go out of those starts, 12-4 to be let's go. Again, I know you can't judge a pitcher by that, but still, I think our defense and our offense is going to lead to greater success for Cabrera here.
The one thing I want to see out of him is, number one, strikeouts. Yeah. I don't know if they actually zip project how many strikeouts for a guy in a season.
They
but
project
130 innings isn't a ton.
It's not.
Well, he would lead the team with a 25.6 K rate, which is 25% is elite, above average, something that the Chicago Cubs have not had for several years.
So I like that. And then I would like the ERA to certainly be below 4.
3.88, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Could I get it down to 3, 3.5, 3.2?
3.5?
Now we're talking about something. Yeah. Strikeouts with an ERA that's 3.2, 3.4, 3.5.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see in year one.
Yeah.
Because that shows me they've found something and it's more consistent. And I would like to see the wins and losses too. But those two things for me would equal probably more wins.
And I'll be honest with you, the one number that I would take out of all this is the 130 innings.
Really?
I really would. I mean, I know that's a little bit on the lower side. That's probably in the range of 22 to 24 starts, anywhere between 5 to 6 innings per start. But just with his history, Luke, and man, we've talked about it on the show, man. It's been elbow sprain and shoulder impingement. There's a lot going on with this guy. Just to keep him upright for 20 to 24 starts, and most importantly, Justin, he's healthy at the end of the year in September and October. The 130 innings. I kind of would take all day, and anything over that I think is a bonus. I'm with you on the 8-6 record. We did some Zips projections yesterday, and I drove home and I was thinking too, these are analytic models that are based on league average results and a lot of different trends, whether it's age or past performance. I think with the wins and losses on this one, they seem to be fairly conservative because I want to believe as a Cubs fan that a lot of these wins, a couple extra are going to come each year from the Cubs playing great defense and saving some outs.
Absolutely.
And also when you make these projections, you also can't necessarily predict the day when, let's say, a guy gives up 4 runs, but the Cubs score 9.
Totally.
Right? The days when the offense carries the day.
For sure.
So that's why I always feel like it's a little conservative. But yeah, those 130 innings, I sign me up.
Well,
I'd take it.
To piggyback that, we currently have a really good top 5 starting rotation. And then we have Justin Steele, who's rehabbing, right? And there are still tons of reports that we're in on
Gallon.
Mm-hmm. So, the thing about it is keeping these guys healthy. Steele coming back from injury. Boyd pitching way more innings last year he ever did. Horton also ramping up the innings. Cabrera. So maybe it makes sense where the 130-something innings, I don't really care about that because it's important what happens October 1st. And if my prediction of the 2-headed monster comes to fruition, I want a healthy 2-headed monster going into October versus somebody who pitched 175 innings and his arm's dragging, right?
Yes.
Yep. 6-man rotation, Craig. I hear you. He also still wants Scooble. Listen, if I had a conversation and I could say, okay, Cabrera, while I love the upside, if they said Cabrera, Shaw, Wiggins, and Jefferson Rojas, and maybe another player for Scooble, and I knew I could re-sign Scooble, I would do that in a millisecond. I would do it.
Man.
Okay, I would.
I think of all the discourse that we've had,
that's the craziest thing.
No, I was going to say it's not Wild Thought Wednesday. Yeah, that's tomorrow. I'm going to say
though, it's True Tuesday.
And I feel like I read a lot of stuff in the Cubs ecosystem, whether it is Twitter, or the internet. I think you're the first person though that says Edward Cabrera can also be a piece.
Yeah.
If he puts together,
people look at it and go, "Oh, not expensive."
Play it out for a second. If he puts together just dynamite first half.
Yeah.
And his ERA is like 2.4.
Right.
He's in the All-Star game. He's everything that we thought he was and more. And like you keep bringing up so rightly that he's cost controlled, doesn't cost a lot. He's got some arbitration years ahead.
Yep.
And you sell while the getting's good
While
and
he's
you
healthy.
it into
Dream.
a true monster.
Scooble.
Yes, it would be like it'd be like for a Scooble.
Yeah.
It's an intriguing thing, and that's what part of the fun is with this Cubs team right now, is because they got a lot of different pieces. The other part about it is when you create this kind of depth, you can get a little flexible with some of that stuff. You can get creative. You can push the envelope on some things, and maybe some guys end up in deals that you didn't really think.
Kind of like if you have like a Nico Hoerner and a Matt Shaw.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Where it's
you can
like,
start
now
to kind of choose. And
Boston's like beep boop bop boop beep.
Controllable
I mean,
young pitching with huge upside.
Yep.
That's great value to somebody.
And at the very least, like you're not leveraged. You're not overly leveraged. Where, like you said, like Nico and Shaw, the Cubs don't have to do anything.
Not at all.
They really don't.
I prefer they don't. But
I would prefer that too. But in this case, I think they're maybe sitting there and saying, "Okay, Boston, blow us away.
right.
Yeah.
If you want them, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt really, really bad. What are you preparing to
Yep.
do? And make it tough for us because we don't want to do it. If you want to make it happen, you got to really blow us over with a deal. And that's where they're sitting and good for the Cubs.
And Boston has been backed into a corner because all their other options are kind of gone. I mean,
We'll get there.
Oh,
We'll get
good little
there. We'll get
Good
there.
little tease.
Because you're right. There might be a little something going on. Who else is getting zip respect from Zips here in the rotation? The Zips pitchers.
So the
I
one
say they know Zip.
So the
about
one
this.
that
I think they're totally underestimating the Cubs rotation.
So the one that I think was interesting. Now the ERA might not jump out at you, but the Zips likes Shota Imanaga to bounce back
Good.
next year.
Somebody just said that in the chat just a little bit back.
And
Daniel.
Steamer feels a little similar to it as well. 8-7 record. Again, I'm not going to make too much about the record. Sometimes they got all the Cubs pitchers winning 8 games. Okay, so
Crazy.
whatever. We'll see what happens. ERA of 3.96, not great, but 136 innings pitched. And the part that I found interesting was they did have his K per 9 rate going back up to 8.3 and at a 22.46 percentage, which would definitely be one of the leaders on the team on par with like Justin Steele and higher than Cade Horton. So when you look at what happened to Shota and how his season ended, sometimes you would think an analytic model would say, this guy is toast.
Right.
This guy is cooked. The Zips projections in this moment don't seem to believe that. And this is one of those moments where I tend to agree with the robot on this one. I do think Shota is going to return to form in a way that maybe isn't necessarily the all-star that was the first half of his first year of his contract. But I think he's going to be a really solid pitcher and give us a really great effort. I don't think we're going to see the Shota that was in September of last year. And hopefully he gets back to that extension. Hopefully on his pitches. Hopefully his hamstring is healthy. And I'm all for it. So they seem to like Shota right now.
When we put together our traditional CHGO, this is the starting 5 or starting 6, however you want to do it. And you go, okay, generally the ace is 1, 2, 3. And you just kind of go in order by who's good. Let's go that way, right? And while Craig Counsell says he just wants outgetters, I would say we would all, I could be wrong, you tell me if I'm wrong, we would all put Cabrera ahead of Shota.
I would, yes.
Now I ask you the question, all of the money you have in your pocket is on the line. Who will have a better season in 26, Cabrera or Shota?
I think you're only talking about injury history at that point because it's like Cabrera, I think if fully healthy, beat Shota. But will he be fully healthy? That's the because then Shota will have the better year, right? It's that back and forthness. What I don't like about the Zips that you said about Shota were his innings. I don't want Shota doing 130 innings or whatever that was. Yeah. Like Cabrera, there's a reason there of an injury history. Shota, his injury was leg. It was a leg thing.
Right.
So I expect him to be fully healthy this year. And if he's only giving you 130 innings, something went wrong, I feel.
If he's fully healthy and you believe what I do, which is that leg and that injury had a lot to do with the second half and the playoffs, then I don't know why anybody would put their money on Cabrera to have a better season than Shota because the injury thing shows you that Cabrera might not be able to stay healthy. He may have better stuff, but has he actually accomplished more than Shota Imanaga the last 2 years when Shota's been healthy?
And I really need that $12.75 in my pocket. That's all I got in my pocket. That's all I got.
I'm just saying, push comes to shove. I'm putting all my money on which guy will have a better season, and my whole family depends on this.
Well, the safer bet is Shota.
The safer bet is Shota.
That's the thing. You're in Vegas. The safer bet is Shota Imanaga. Now, you want to make bank back on your return?
Yeah, what are the odds on it?
It's Edward Cabrera. You know what I'm saying? You want to make some major money coming back, but you're right. The safer bet is Shota Imanaga for sure.
Man, I don't know.
Look, I think it's okay to just be cautiously optimistic about Edward Cabrera.
I am.
I'm. Yeah, that's
me too.
As you should.
As you should. Look, put all those guys in that list.
And I'm telling you, of all the guys that watch in spring training, I can't wait to see him on the mound, and I can't wait to see that first changeup explode out of his hand and completely mystify an opposing hitter. But at the same time, there's something about it that I'm protecting my heart. And just sort of preparing myself that, like, if Cabrera goes down and it's like, oh, he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks, I should not, I hope I don't, be on a post-game show going, the season's over, it's sunk, because they lost Edward Cabrera. I think the Cubs have prepared for possibly that scenario. And I personally, I don't want to flip out if that happens, because it's not, and I told you so, but it's a little bit indicative of what his past career is like. But I hope it doesn't happen, of course.
All right, we're going to talk about those possibilities with the Red Sox when we come back on the CHGO Cubs Podcast. Starting the month strong is easier and more delicious than ever with premium portioned protein from Omaha Steaks. Stay satisfied, get energy, fuel your routine with premium prepackaged protein delivered to your door by Omaha Steaks. From handcrafted USDA tender steaks to gourmet burgers, versatile chicken and pork, and more. They have unmatched variety and super high quality. Right now, you can taste the difference and get an extra $35 off. All you have to do is use the promo code Cubs at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. I ordered fillets, halibut, apple tartlets, and the jumbo gourmet Franks.
Just for himself.
Next time, I'm going with the pork chops.
Yes.
Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917. They also carry burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, dessert, and easy-to-prepare food. So let Omaha Steaks deliver to you. $35 off with the promo code CUBS. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code Cubs. Terms apply. See site for details.
And Luke, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Right now, did you know new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose? And that's right, the Super Bowl this weekend. And if you pick the Patriots or the Seahawks to go up by 17 points, you can be a winner on instant payout on straight bets with parlay selections that are marked as winners. Only if you download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. It isn't just the Super Bowl. You can double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost when you use the code. That's right, CHGO365. Remember, deposit $10, place a bet for $5. You can get up to $200 in bonus bets if that bet wins or loses. You can use it on spread, totals, player props, futures, more, because whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Remember, you must be 21 plus or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. But head to Bet365 and use that code CHGO365 for $200 in bonus bets today.
Cha-ching. All right, back on the CHGO Cubs podcast. So the Cardinals have traded Brendan Donovan to the Mariners, and it was a 3-team deal yesterday. In the last 3 months, the St. Louis Cardinals, our biggest rival, supposedly, they have traded Brendan Donovan, Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado, and Sonny Gray.
I feel so bad for the best fans in baseball.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, by the way.
Getting exactly what they deserve.
Yeah, right.
Which is a massive rebuild and hopefully dead last by many, many games in the division this year. That's great. Just by itself, that's beautiful news. I love to hear it.
Agreed.
The question is, will the Red Sox now be forced to overpay big time to acquire Matt Shaw or Nico, which is what you touched on?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of smoke here to not be fired, in my personal opinion, right? Early on, I thought it was more of a Nico thing once they got Bregman. I'm just kind of starting to turn a little bit. It just feels like Matt Shaw might be the guy that gets moved. I personally don't really want that without a Nico Hoerner extension. We've gone over this before. If you sign Nico for 5 years, fine. Trade Shaw for that stud pitcher in Boston, fine. But for me, Matt Shaw is like the next Nico Hoerner if Nico were to leave at free agency. So I would hate to get rid of Matt Shaw. I think is obviously there's a bigger power upside. But that being said, his name keeps getting floated out there, and Boston is clearly looking for help in the infield. And all their options, Suarez is gone. Donovan is now gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bregman is gone, like you said. Yep. I mean, it's kind of like, at this point, Matt Shaw or Nico Hoerner or bust. And it feels like it's more of a Matt Shaw thing than a Nico thing.
Yeah, and in terms of the trade with Brendan Donovan, good news for the Seattle Mariners, right? They trade their number 7 and number 12 prospect from a system that I believe is in the top half of farm systems across baseball. So it's a pretty good haul for the Cardinals. We'll see what happens with prospects. But yeah, if I'm in the Cubs position, I mean, look, I want Connolly early, and I want someone else in your top 5 system. I mean, literally, like, we were doing this last year.
Pitching prospects.
Yeah. We were doing the Cubs should go out and get Mackenzie Gore. And then you're hearing back that what the Nationals wanted was Cade Horton, Matt Shaw, like this, and this. Like, the Cubs should be able to set their menu of what they want for the services of Matt Shaw. And again, they own all the leverage in this situation. It's going to have to come down to the Red Sox absolutely blowing away the Cubs. I don't necessarily want us to trade Matt Shaw. I think in terms of the here and now, I clearly think he can help us on the Major League roster this
1,000%.
year. At third base, at shortstop, right field, left field. I mean, there's a lot of different ways Matt Shaw can help this team. The other part about it is if Matt Shaw can progress offensively this year, he provides you the flexibility and optionality to stick into left field or right field if you don't think you had the financial incentive to bring back Seiya and Ian Happ. He's a great fallback plan all of a sudden, even maybe at second base if you didn't want to re-sign Hoerner. So he's a great plan B for 27, 28, and beyond. So as much as I want to believe, and then the other part about it is, real quick, if he pans out too, his value just goes up even more. If he doesn't pan out, maybe you miss an opportunity to cash in on a gold mine. So look, I'm not rooting for it, and I don't think the Cubs have any real momentum to get it done themselves. This is all going to come down to the Boston Red Sox doing something stupid, which they have done from time to time the last couple of years. So let's see how it plays out.
Mookie Betts?
I think they
did.
I
believe they did.
Now, if they could go back and trade us Mookie Betts for Matt Shaw.
Done.
Yeah, right.
And one more thing, Joey, about that too is not only can Matt Shaw be your, there's two sides to it. Matt Shaw can really help this year, and then he also could be your insurance for next year at second or the corner outfield spots. That being said, we're losing a lot of our rotation at the end of this year. So trading him to get Boston's big-time pitcher prospect for the rotation for next year also helps you, because then, you have Horton, Cabrera, Steele next year. And I believe that's it. Isn't Jamo and Boyd both gone?
Yeah.
So you can kind of replenish your pitching with the trade of Matt Shaw. So there's two sides of it.
And my only counter to that really quick is I'm just kind of curious that if Connolly early and everyone, is the number 4 prospect and everyone thinks he could be a mid-rotation starter, whatever, that's fine. If the Boston Red Sox were so high on this guy and Paulie and all the other guys, why the hell did they go out and trade for Sonny Gray and sign Ranger Suarez in the offseason? If these guys were on the doorstep and ready to rock and roll, that part kind of conflicts with me just a little bit. I'm not saying that these are bad players or maybe bad investments of giving it a shot, of bringing in a guy like Connolly early. I just don't know how close he is to helping a major league team right off the bat.
Okay. I think I'm more into it than you guys are.
Tell me why.
Because number one, early wouldn't have to even be part of this rotation this year. I don't need him to be good. We've built such depth in the rotation that you could still sign Zach Gallen. You don't even have to think about that guy. Go work on everything you need to work on at AAA. You're not coming to the majors this year unless you are just destroying it in the minor leagues. And I'm not sure trading. I'm about winning now, right?
Same.
But I don't know that trading Matt Shaw tears down that plan. Are there players that I would say, man, you don't want to do that? Yeah, I still feel like trading Nico sort of does that more than trading Shaw does. We don't really know what Shaw is yet. He's still basically a prospect.
A top prospect.
But would he be ranked higher than early? What if you could do what Craig is saying? They go crazy and they give you early and Duran. Now, wait a minute. Duran's a guy that can help me this year. And Early's a guy that can help me in the future. And I might have to replace Matt Shaw, but I'm still hanging on to Conrad. I'm still hanging on to other guys in my system.
Yeah.
Right? And Scott Kingery might make this team. You might be able to acquire someone still, even at the deadline, if you needed somebody to replicate what Matt Shaw might be able to give you in his second season in the big leagues. But if you can find yourself a guy that you think might be like a Crochet or even like steps down from that, or 2 pitching prospects, and still compete just as easily this year, you're talking about giving up a guy that is your extra infielder, outfielder. High upside, but also nobody's saying like future Hall of Famer.
Right.
And there might not be baseball early on next season, which is even more time for that young pitcher to keep working on his craft. And all of a sudden he takes the replace of Taillon, or he takes the replace of whoever you might be looking at. If the Red Sox are willing to do something stupid, I'm happy to accept that.
If it's a dumb deal on their side and we are getting, I mean, the Jed Hoyer, you're right, is in a great position. I don't have to trade Matt Shaw. I don't want to trade Matt Shaw. Blow me away and maybe we have a deal. My flip side of that is I look at Matt Shaw as being kind of like the 2016 Ben Zobrist. Like, he could play anywhere. He showed you.
Which is high praise.
It is high praise. But he showed you his defense is stellar. I mean, he was a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. We all saw that, right? And then I know he was overmatched offensively in the playoffs. I hope that really lit a fire under him. But you saw in a couple months span, offensively, there was a real upside there. You saw some power. You saw some great swings. You saw some. I mean, this is a guy that I'm really, really high on. And I'm probably more high on him than you are, Luke, because I do feel like he makes this year's team better because he can spell everybody. He could spell Bregman. I mean, just going off of the lefty-righty starter we're facing. If you're facing a lefty, Mo Baller goes to the bench, Bregman goes to DH, and Shaw starts. That's great. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, listen, Ian Happ, people love him. But like, what if he falters at some point? You could put Matt Shaw in left field. I'm sure he could be a great defender over there. He seems to be like a Swiss Army knife that I do think makes this year's team better. That being said, he's not untouchable. Blow me away, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, right? Yeah. If it's a 7 and a 12 for Brendan Donovan, I know farm systems aren't all created equal. I want a top 5 guy, which would be early, and I need another top 10 guy. Or you know what I mean? Like,
or I need somebody like Durant.
It's got to hurt. They're really, Durant, honestly. Durant's
done dumber things.
Durant's pretty intriguing too, as well. But again, we would have some infield things to sort of figure out. Yeah. But that's a problem for, you know what I mean? That's a problem for another podcast.
If they're going to do something stupid, though, do we all agree I'd rather have them do something stupid for Shaw instead of something stupid for what might be 1 year of Nico? Because
Don't you say it.
No, because I think if you make that trade for Shaw, the contract extensions for Nico are done. You make it. Whatever Nico wants, you've decided. Nico's our second baseman, and we don't have to worry about that. We're locking down Nico. I'm not as excited about the trade for Nico, even though he only has 1 year on his deal. Yeah. I just don't know if I fully buy in on the Matt Shaw experience yet because of what I saw at the end and what I saw at the beginning.
That's fair. But I said all along that I would be okay with trading Matt Shaw with a Nico Hoerner extension. And that's what would make me feel like warm and fuzzy at night if we had Nico for years and then you trade Matt Shaw for early or whatever. I would feel good about that. Trading Matt Shaw without a Nico Hoerner extension, I don't love that personally.
Yeah, and it gets a little confusing too as well. Just like, I don't know. Like Boston clearly graduated Christian Campbell last year.
There's another one.
He struggled. He went back down to the minors.
Yep.
They love Marcelo Meyer, who's one of their top prospects too as well. He's a middle infielder. What is the trust and confidence level there? The part that I can't kind of really wrap my head around is I don't see Nico Hoerner in Boston personally because I think they already got those two guys there. I think they'd be more interested in Matt Shaw and maybe possibly parting with the Duran because he's not hungry like the wolf, but also Matt Shaw can play the outfield. You know what I mean? Like there's something like that.
Yes, Luke, get the spray.
Craig says, "Yeah, get the spray." He just compared Shaw with Ben Zobrist. Shaking my head. You used the two names next to each other, but if Matt Shaw is Ben Zobrist, then I wouldn't be talking about these conversations.
And Craig, to clarify, and you can go back and watch this tape, I said from a standpoint of he could fit in all these different positions. That's very Zobrist-like. And then Mohawk Kid, kind of on my side here, I think Matt Shaw low is Ben Zobrist, and he's as high as Alex Bregman in terms of talent. Guys, I think we're limiting Matt Shaw's ceiling because he was a top prospect, and we don't know what we don't know what his potential, we don't know what his max is yet. And I'm very, very hesitant to get rid of that. But again, blow me away and I'll do it.
I think we're disrespecting the World Series MVP. Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast, more Cubs talk. It's Cubs over everything. Hey, winter is here, and despite what that little groundhog was saying yesterday, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Nope.
I'm wondering, is your home and the heating up for the challenge? Now's the time to schedule that Four Seasons furnace tune-up. At Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs. And here's the great part. No extra charge for weekends, nights, or holidays. You can save up to $4,000 right now on furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Their furnaces start at $39 a month and furnace AC combos at $57 a month. If you call today, you can save an extra $50 from our trusted local experts. We are sponsored by Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, cooling, air conditioning, plumbing, electric, generators. They do it all. Four Seasons, heatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's Four Seasons, heatingcooling.com. Don't wait until it's too late.
Luke, you know what this Sunday is? Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Ooh, the big game.
And for the biggest game of the year, head on over to Hooters because Hooters is your football headquarters this Sunday. And you can check out all the action at one of their 11 Chicagoland locations. And look, if you want to just watch from home, you can do that too. And also order Hooters online because they can be the MVP of your watch party. Just go to order.hooters.com and pick up your order before 3 p.m. on game day, which is Sunday, February 8th, and you'll get a coupon for 20% off your next visit. They also have wings for kids every Tuesday in February. Wing cravings that make a difference. Hooters is donating a portion of chicken wing sales to Holy Family Schools, helping fund tuition, books, classroom supplies, and more for kids in under-resourced communities. Also, check out their weekday lunch special for $9.99 or less. You can have boneless wings, OG wings, blackened chicken, Caesar salad, Monday through Friday. That's 11 to 3 p.m. What else do I need to say? Head on over to Hooters today. They have locations across 11 different places in the Chicagoland area, or go to the original and check out Hooters.com today.
Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast, it is time for our game day prospect dive. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you. Here's our Game Day Men's Health Deep Prospect Dive. It appears that Kevin Alcantara, most likely, I don't even know if I can say that, is your fourth outfielder. I still consider him a prospect. I don't see him on any of the 100 lists anymore. Right. He's appeared at the big league level. It hasn't been spectacular. They traded Casey, so he's the one that's left. He's a better outfielder defensively than Owen Casey was. So I ask you this question. This guy or this guy? Will Kevin Alcantara be the number 4 outfielder for the Cubs this year to start the season? Or Dylan Carlson, who I saw photos of from Rich Biesterfeld in Arizona?
Yeah.
Or is Matt Shaw the 4th outfielder? Or is it Scott Kingery? Which of those 4 guys is actually the 4th outfielder? Somebody there is not in this mix.
Yeah.
2 of those guys are probably not in the mix. Alcantara, Carlson.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't either because they're both former top prospects. You know, for me, I would love the 4th outfielder to be Kevin Alcantara. I feel like that. You know, he was a top prospect for a while. And listen, you could say he didn't do great, but he didn't really get a chance at the MLB level. I mean, how many at-bats did he get? I mean, I didn't really see him a lot, you know? I do love that he could back up center field. Listen, PCA, I fully expect to play 162 games, but you just never know. And it'd be good to have an actual center fielder backing him up. He's a better defender. I do love that because Seiya Suzuki isn't the best defender. So if you're winning 3-1 in the 8th or 9th inning, Kevin goes out there, right?
Yeah.
So I do like that. The Dylan Carlson thing really intrigues me because he was a former top prospect for the Cardinals. They wouldn't trade him for Juan Soto. But there's, I never want to get rid of Matt. I never want to like give up on top prospects because don't forget Jake Arrieta was a top prospect and he failed miserably with the Orioles and, you know, little Ridley dust on him and he became a Hall of Famer for 3 years, you know? So I never want to give up on that pedigree, but that's going to be a good competition. I personally, because we got him for Rizzo, it would make me feel like we got something for Rizzo. I'd like for Kevin Alcantara to be the fourth outfielder, and that just means he had a great spring, and he deserved it as well.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think that's the best case scenario. A guy that's already in-house, a guy that can play backup center field, a guy that can run the bases well, and a guy that we've liked or at one point or another projected to have some sort of offensive something that seems to have kind of petered out. And he's had a couple of good spring trainings, but clearly just at the major league level.
He's got an option left.
And that's the thing.
We think,
yeah,
right?
they negotiated an option with him.
They did. So I was under the impression that it was it. Okay.
So here's and Patrick Norton was helping us out with this before.
Okay.
From my understanding in chat, you can tell me if I'm correct. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Patty Nortz. Yeah, hot honey buns. What we understand is that Dylan Carlson does not have an option in his contract. He can also decide to opt out of a Cubs contract at any point in spring training. AKA, like if it isn't going to work out for him, they'll let him go somewhere, try and hook on somewhere else and find a job. Chas McCormick has optionality in his contract, so he could possibly be a guy that can go down to AAA. That kind of gives him an inside track a little bit with Dylan Carlson, just in my opinion, because McCormick is a guy that maybe can go down to AAA and just provide depth for you. We're seeing people in the chat here asking, what about Mike Tauchman? Now, here's the only thing about Mike Tauchman.
You watched enough White Sox baseball last year.
I sure did. I produced the White Sox show with Sean Anderson last year. And here's what I will tell you. Mike Tauchman still provides you an incredibly professional at bat. He's a guy that's going to get, you're not going to get cheated. It's going to be great. It's still the solid Mike Tauchman that you would expect offensively.
And he lives in Arlington Heights.
The only problem was his lower half was pretty cooked last year.
Yeah, he couldn't run, right?
He had quad problems. He had hamstring problems. He didn't really play the outfield.
But we're not asking him to do it every day.
No, we're not asking him to do it every day, but I am asking him to kind of jog into the corner in right field and fish a ball out of there if necessary to possibly get the third.
The job of this fourth outfielder will also be a defensive replacement.
Right.
So I need someone with his legs underneath
he won games agagainst the Cardinals. He's jumping over the wall.
But how many, 2-3 years ago? He watched White Sox baseball. I even saw that he was limping around.
And then I'm not upset about it. The only other part about it too is you just have to think where does he fit into the mix as a left-handed hitter, right? When there are left-handers on the mound, you're going to want Seiya Suzuki in there,
right?
Ian Happ is still a switch hitter. I don't think you're going to necessarily sit PCA down against lefties. They didn't do it last year. I don't want to see them do that this year. So that's the part that I'm more curious, maybe exploring what a Chas McCormick might be able to do as a fourth outfielder, and Kevin Alcantara if he can become that guy and just provide us with a little bit of spark and a little bit of pop off the bench every once in a while, hit against lefties. I'm all for that. So I'm definitely rooting for KA in spring training to win that job.
Same.
But if Dylan Carlson has a great spring,
that's what's going to be fun about it. They're all going to compete.
And even if Alcantara has a great spring, wouldn't you put Carlson on the opening day lineup and stash Alcantara until
explain that to me.
Until you would need him. He could stay there all year.
Yeah, explain it to me. So we kind of touched on it, then you never really explained it. So it was negotiated for Kevin Alcantara to have an extra option in his contract?
Correct. So he was running out of options, I believe.
I thought he was done this year is what I thought.
Yeah, there's a way that you can negotiate with a player, maybe with a pay raise, to figure out a way to have one more option. I think they also did it with Javier Assad too as well, not too recently, but Dylan Carlson does not have that. He's either going to be on the team or he's not. They did negotiate that with Chas McCormick. But no, you're right. And that's what's going to be one of the more interesting storylines. Storylines for spring training is I want to see Edward Cabrera on the bump, right? Of course you want to see all the stars. You want to see Bregman in a Cubs uniform. But this fourth outfielder spot is going to be intriguing. And frankly, I want to see what Scott Kingery can possibly do. Even if he doesn't make the opening day roster, someone that you can, as you said, stash at the AAA level, while Matt Shaw plays all over the field and maybe sometimes pitcher and catcher, right? But this is the kind of depth that the Cubs want to build. So they're throwing a lot of darts at the wall instead of just one, I said it before, that it's not just Matt Caesar, right? They're throwing a bunch of darts at a couple different guys. Let's go out there, let the best man win.
Right.
And if he earns a job on the opening day, that means that he's a guy that's already hitting the ball. Keep in mind, too, as well, just really quick, Tyler Austin can play the outfield, too.
Okay.
He's not just a first baseman, so he can maybe be a guy to spell in some places, too, as well.
This is breaking news here on CHGO. Just to confuse people, the Bulls have traded Vooch to the Cubs to play the fourth outfielder. There it is. So just if people are looking for that big trade, you can stay here because we can talk Vooch too. He's going to be the Cubs' fourth outfielder.
Not a good rim protector. Might not be a good basket protector either. So let's hope for the best.
But does he hit left-handed or right-handed?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't think he hits.
Nah.
Just like he doesn't play D.
He might be cooked.
Okay, here's my thing with Kevin Alcantara. Have they waited too long on this? Like, do the Cubs actually know that he's a really good minor league player?
4A player.
A 4A guy? Like, do they know that's his limit, or do they still believe in the potential that this guy has star stuff because he's so skilled? If he ever puts it all together, boom. I'm worried because I see Brennan Davis, I see Nelson Velasquez, I see Alexander Canario.
Who's back in the fold, by the way? He's getting an invite to camp, by the way. Nelson Velasquez.
With who?
The Cubs.
With the Cubs?
Yeah.
He's back.
Alexander Canario, Felix Piet, all these guys that we were told, like, just that list of Brennan Davis, Velasquez, and Canario. Weren't we sold on, like, one of them is going to be, you got the outfielders coming in the future. Right. It might be none. It's starting to look more and more like none of them will be the future.
I got one more for you. Brett Jackson.
So, I mean, here's the deal. Every prospect is different. You can't name me 3 that, flamed out because I can come back with PCA, right? I mean, like, everybody's different. So I feel like Kevin Alcantara, for me, doesn't matter what Felix PA did. He's his own dude. He has a very great skill set. I don't think he's ever been given a chance to be the guy yet. So, I mean, and also last year, where were you going to put him? I mean, you obviously had Tucker, you had Suzuki, PCA came into his own.
They cleared a path for Casey, though.
They did, but
before Casey hopped over KA, which I think is sometimes how they internally feel about it.
They also traded Casey. So, like, maybe to clear a path for Alcantara. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, every prospect for me is his own person, and I would love it if he won the 4th outfield job outright because I feel like we got something for Anthony Rizzo that's part of this team now, and I just felt like all along he had a really good skill set that I wanted at least see get a chance to.
Can the dude just hit and just be like an Albert Almora-esque type of piece on a team that hopefully wins a lot of games this year? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, they were right about Happ, drafting Happ. Yeah. They were right about Schwarber in drafting Schwarber. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they haven't gotten some outfield prospects correct in one way or another. But I would like to see the next guy in line, right? Can Alcantara be Happ someday? It doesn't seem like he's headed on that path, right? And when they first got him, it was like, wow, look at this guy. He just looks like he could be a real major league player. He looks like he could be our De La Cruz in the outfield, right? Like that's what we were. Right. That's what we were sort of dreaming of. Right. And I'm getting fearful now that he could be our Brennan Davis, our Nelson Velasquez, our Alexander Canario.
Well, let me ask you a question. So we have had 2 guys in the corner of the outfield for the past 3-4 years: Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki. PCA became a superstar. He's center field going nowhere. We traded for Kyle Tucker. I do feel like that there really hasn't been room for Alcantara to do anything or even have a showcase. Yes, they brought Casey up. Maybe they ranked Casey higher than Alcantara. That's fine, but it doesn't mean that Alcantara is a bad player. So I feel like we've had our corner outfielders for the past 3-4 years. We've had our center fielder for a couple. Like, there hasn't been a spot open. Yeah. When there will be, though, at the end of this year, when you have either Seiya or Happ or both gone. So I'm not ready to give up yet. That being said, for me, the best man wins. So if it's Dylan Carlson, cool. And then adios, KA. But I just would love for it to be Kevin.
I also love that competition. I love that KA's been put on that notice, like, here, we've got 3 or 4 guys. One of you is going to get this job.
Love it.
The other guy better start working on something else.
Love it.
So There's the pressure of it.
There's like 5 guys. You got to hope that at least one of them rakes in spring training and just goes out and claims the job.
And by the way,
that's
this is
part of it
for our backup spot. Like, it shows you how good our starters are. That like we're excited about like the 4th outfielder competition. That's how deep this team is, and I love that.
I haven't heard the name Gage Tater Workman so far this offseason. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. Justin, Tuesday with Roman. Yes. See you next week. Huh?
Let's do it.
We're going to talk more Cubs baseball tomorrow, maybe more Zips if you want.
Bullpen,
maybe we'll talk about Vooch for those of you that think you're watching the Bulls podcast right now. After
Bulls got
trade.
younger. Patience.
Bulls got younger. And maybe some of you like Barb want to talk about Mike Tauchman. We could do that for 5 minutes if you want. Anyways, thanks for checking out the podcast. We're back tomorrow. Then don't forget Corey and Brendan with Cubs Related on Thursday. And don't forget to sign up for that big trip. Spring training, baby. Let's do it. Go. March 5 to March 8. Here we go. Until next time, thanks for watching the podcast. And as always, fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.